Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy 1 o'clock. Happy Wise Women's Wednesday. Here we all are. Just waiting for y'all to come in and let's get busy. I got a really good topic for you today, especially after yesterday when I kind of lost it. I think you're going to be tickled is the word. Tickled. Who's here? I see people coming in, which is a great thing. I think I am going to enjoy a little bit of my hot milk. Yolanda's the first one saying hello. Hello, Catherine. Catherine and Yolanda are in the house. Yay. Who else is here? Who else is here? Who else is waiting in the sidelines? Come on in. Come on in, everyone. Oh, look at me. Bra straps and all. Trying to hide that business. Who's here? Thank you. I put a little effort into it. You just don't want to go up here where all the gray is. I've got everything styled carefully to hide the little patch of gray in this area. It's crazy. There's Jenny and Margot's in the house. Tammy's here. Yay, good morning, Miss Tammy. How are you? How is everyone? How are we doing today? It's Wednesday, just in case you haven't been able to track time. I know a lot of us have just been like, I was talking to Mark and I said, oh, I think it's happening on April 9th. And he goes, well, that's tomorrow. And I said, is it? Okay. I had no idea. Oh, my word. Come on in. Let's get busy. Lucy's here. Good to see you, Lucy. Lucy. Here we go. It's a little slow this morning, but or this afternoon, we're just going to give it its due, give it its time, let it do its thing, let it percolate a little bit. Let it percolate. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking, Lucy. I'm doing really well. I'm going to share my story with you because I've got a really cool story to share with you because, yesterday I was just a little bit, I was a little wigged out. I mean, I had just popped that email off when I came on and I had just had no time to really process all of that. And, I think we need to be very attuned to the fact that processing is such an incredibly important thing to do, especially right now. There's a lot going on and there's a lot of emotional whatever inside of us, and that stuff has to be processed. That's part of what we do. That's how we feel the feelings. Our feelings are worthy of being discussed and felt and processed, and without that we are left kind of holding the bag and stuck and not knowing what to do. And I really feel that. I know what that feels like. So I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. I want us to be able to move through things. And one of the things that we're doing right now, and especially on Wise Women's Wednesdays, is we're going through the whole process of understanding and pulling things out and being mindful and, even breaking things down a little bit so that we can understand what the heck is going on. The stuff that we can't control versus the stuff that we can control. How critically important is that? So like I said, today is Wise Women's Wednesday, and I have a really great story to tell you, and I have a really great story. So remember I told you yesterday that they had sent me an email saying, sorry, but not happening. Well, I wrote an email that was just a little bit like, hey, guess what, guys? No, you don't. You're not going to mess with me. I am a woman-owned business, small operation. I have been doing this since 2001. I am not going to let this, rock my boat. This is not going to rock my world. And I called on their integrity. I called on their promises, and I called on them to do the right thing. So this morning when I got up, and last night I kept waking up and kind of thinking about it. And finally, at 6:30, I got up this morning and I had my morning ritual, and I had You know what the neatest thing is? When I was doing my meditation, the thing that came to me was, I am blessed and highly favored. You know, what a cool thing. And I mean, I didn't come out of anywhere. It was just like, it just happened. And so I kept saying that to myself, I am blessed and highly favored. And I went and got my journal and I wrote out, I am blessed and highly favored in my journal. That's what I wrote today for my journal entry. That's all it was just the one sentence after the other. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to really hold on to that feeling of feeling, you know, just that I had God was with me. He hadn't left me. That there was still so much to be thankful for, that this is not the end of the world, that whatever it is, it's going to be okay. And then I looked it up. I just plugged in and I put in a Google search engine, right in the little window there, I put, I am blessed and highly favored. And this is what popped up, which I thought was so cool. It was a quote from T.D. Jakes. If you know T.D. Jakes, he's a big pastor guy, and he's very interesting. Anyway, he said, to be blessed, to be highly favored, is to have the liquidity of thought, to be able to let go of what you thought was going to happen, and to embrace what God wants to do in your life. The liquidity of thought. And the liquidity of my thought right then was just to hold on to this. This much I can hold on to. That I am blessed and highly favored. I mean, what a cool thing to think about, right? What a cool thing to let your beautiful self hold on to and to let expand in your heart. And that's basically where I was coming from. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit today, because I think it's so important for us to realize and to recognize where we are right now today, sitting in our chairs, sitting on our couches, and with the world outside, you know, and all the news going on and what have you. We have an opportunity to grasp the generous love that is ours from God, and we have the opportunity to dwell on that. Remember, what we think about expands. So if we're thinking about all the stuff that's completely out of our control, then that stuff is going to expand too, and we're going to lose it, girls. We're just going to lose it. That's all there is to it. And the other thing that I put into this equation after all of this had happened was the based on the quote that I had chosen for this week, was this amazing sense of gratitude. That gratitude is the key. That gratitude, even in the thick of all the things, that gratitude was my saving grace. And then I remembered, you know, that just came to me, and I was writing that stuff out too. And then I remembered our quote of the week is, the struggle ends when the gratitude begins. The struggle ends when the gratitude begins. And what a magnificent quote. What a reminder of where it is that our brains need to go. We don't need to go into the unknown and into the scary and into all of the what if, oh my gosh, hand-wringing stuff, because that just rocks our world and brings us down and pulls us down into a place of despair. Do we need any more despair in our lives? Do we? We need to begin and open our hearts to the immense gratitude that we have. We have roofs over our head. We are still connected. We might be isolated, but we are still connected. How incredible is that? I mean, think if this had happened, I've mentioned this before, if this had happened, 20 years ago, we wouldn't have this connection. We'd be really isolated and really frightened. Instead, we can connect and we can get together with people. We could send somebody a funny meme. We do not have to be in the depths of despair unless we choose to go there. We're not going to choose that, though, because we understand and we know that what we think about expands. And that should and can be enough to light your life up right now. That little spark can do it. So don't forget, and while I'm telling you this, don't forget that Friday is Also, Q&A day. So if you have a question about cooking, nutrition, whatever, I mean, believe me, I've seen some questions. I've had people ask me what my deodorant is, you know? I mean, come on. Oh, that's funny. You can even ask me that. I don't care. I have no secrets. Just send it in an email to support@savingdinner.com. And in the subject line, put question for Leanne on Friday. I will answer it here Friday, same time, same place. And I'll answer it live. Okay. So I got that for you. Also, we have free shipping for 3 products. We have the unflavored, the chocolate, and our new fiber mender. Watch the blog. We've got a new post coming out. That's 10 grams of fiber, you guys. This is gut health that you want. You wish you could ask me about sewing masks? Joanne, you would never want to ask me about sewing masks because I am the world's worst seamstress. I got C- in 8th grade. Mrs. Davis at Dexter Junior High School hated my sewing. She ended my sewing career. Even though I was sewing my own clothes and stuff and thought I was pretty hot stuff, she just totally obliterated me. I just blame her for my lack of sewing now. If you're trying to get yourself set up right now too for this next quarter, we still have things to plan, guys. We still have lives to live. Go to savingdinner.com/journal. The PDF is still available. You get that, you copy it off, and you follow the instructions on it. And one more thing. There's a training that goes with it so that you can make 90-day goals that light you up. Light you up. It's incredible. savingdinner.com/journal. I love that. It's my favorite thing. One of my favorite things. Okay. And I've got a surprise for you at 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock today. You know what's at 4 o'clock? Cooking lessons. You know who's doing it today? Mark. And I got that idea from Marla because she's got her son Justin doing cooking, grilling stuff. And we've got steaks that have been marinating. And I said, you grill them. You grill them. And I've got some stuff that I'm going to teach you, but then I'm going to throw Mark to the wolves and I'm going to take over the camera. Won't that be so much fun? And I'm going to distract him all day long. I am going to be horrible behind that camera. Yes, Joanne. Jenny knows how to... Jenny's sewing masks, I think, too, right? Jenny's like the bomb.com. She can do things. We've got people within our communities that can help you. So post something. What do you want to know about sewing masks? Just don't ask me because like I said, I'm not a lot of help. But I can help you in the kitchen. I can help you make a tuna casserole without a can of soup. All right, Wise Women's Wednesdays. So come on down. Let's get busy on this, okay? Let's get really busy on this. And you know what? I don't use a regular aluminum deodorant. I use this stuff. It's Schmidt's or something because somebody's talking about it. And it gives me a massive rash under my armpit. So now I just use coconut oil because I don't, it's not like if I get stinky, I'll go take a shower. Shower anytime you want when you live at home and work at home and don't leave and you're here for a month without leaving these 4 walls. I am blessed and highly favored. How about you? If you're blessed and highly favored, throw me down some hearts. Throw me down some hearts. And also show me your pinkies. Pinkies up. If you are blessed and highly favored, let them know about it because, we are all in this little community together, holding each other up. This is a time of our life that is unlike anything else. Anything else. It just absolutely, everybody's still trying to run around and try to figure this out. But if we can come from the place of understanding that we are blessed and highly favored, beloved, then things are going to be all right, aren't they? Things are going to be all right. And in this little world that I have right now, I can control that thought process. Right? Holding my feet. That's a pinky oath right there. This is a pinky oath. And this is my pinkies up saying that we're all in this together. We are so blessed. Susan, you are absolutely right. So I've got some things that I put together, and I thought, what are my beliefs about this? And I wrote them out. I'm going to share them with you because I'm going to share them with you because this is the thing that I am holding on to right now. Oh, and I didn't tell you. After I did all my morning ritual, like I do every single morning, most mornings, and after I had my meditation, and after I just got this whole thing that I am blessed and highly favored, and I wrote it all out and everything, I opened my email, and there's an email from the guy who is, the president of the company, who took responsibility for this stuff. They're running some of our stuff tomorrow. They're running some more stuff next Tuesday. And he said, you got to be flexible with me. I'm doing the very best that I can. And guess what? It's going to happen. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be whatever. We're going to all roll with it, right? I've got you with me on my side, right? We're going to roll with it. It is all going to work out because one of my beliefs is that life is working out for me. That is one of my standard core beliefs. When I believe that, the reticular activating system is looking for the proof, and the proof came in my email. It was written at 12:24 a.m. It was. And I told him in that email, I said, I talk about you on my Facebook Lives. I tell everybody to pray for you and to keep you safe and to keep all of your team working. I ask that for you because you guys are working with us. And I really believe that's what got him. I really believe that. And I said, we get thousands of people watching this, thousands of views every single day. And I said, they all know about you. Of course, you guys don't know their names or the thing, and I'm going to keep that private. But, you got to pull this stuff out and you got to tell the story. And you have to bring these, we all have to come to the place of integrity at some point. We will be called out otherwise. I called him out. I called him out because it was the right thing to do. Not because I was being pathetic, not because I was being pitiful, but I was standing in my power. I was letting him know what was going on. I wasn't going to be silent. I wasn't going to fold over and just say, okay, whatever. And I did play the woman card, I did. I played the woman-owned business card because I wanted him to understand the entirety of what's at stake. I have been in this business since 2001. I own it 100%. I have very few people that work here. We are a tight team, and everybody that works for me is a treasured part of what we do. I want to keep everybody on. I want to keep keeping my customers happy and keep sending out the product. And this is the whole thing that you need to understand. I believe with all of my heart that got to him. I do. And I believe too that your prayers were part of the reason why. And that just shows you how important it is to just, with all of your heart, to really put everything that you've got into whatever it is that you're doing. Because if you believe strongly enough in it, then it is worth your time. It is worth your effort, and it's worth doing it as excellently as you possibly can. We talked about that on, I think, Monday, the difference between excellence and perfection. And perfectionism paralyzes, while excellence encourages you to keep going. Excellence is something to be enjoyed and looked forward to. I just can't even tell you how much this all just lit me up. And this morning, I had such gratitude. I mean, I've been very close to tears, but tears of joy, tears of joy, because I know that God is working all of this out on my behalf because I asked him to. He's not taking pleasure in seeing me suffer. He is there and he's on my side, and life is working out for me. There it is right there, you guys. There it is right there. Oh my word. So that's what my core belief is, that I believe that life is working out for me. The second thing is, the struggle ends when gratitude begins, right? Get that? And so that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I started out with massive gratitude. Thank you for this. I didn't go back to him and say, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about that? And you know what? I don't need to, because the seed has been planted. The seed has been planted. My relationship with this man has been cemented, unless he just kind of just blows me off or whatever. But I promise you that there is a way, there is truth in being honest, which that sounds kind of weird, but seriously, the honesty and sharing the truth in love, without, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa puff and trying to, walk around, beat around the bush and not really be honest about it and just say, instead just go to this whole blame shift thing. That doesn't work. What does that do? What does that do except put somebody up and like, oh, now all of a sudden they're starting to feel like, hey, back off, honey, that kind of a thing. But you get invited in when you're talking about, this is how I feel. This is what's happening in my business. You don't have to be a horrible shrew in order to make your point. You can speak the truth in love. Speak the truth in love. It will never, ever, ever backfire on you. How about that? So that opened up my eyes to all the blessings around me. I wrote all this stuff out. I just was like, this is so exciting. I've got to share this, And my new word is perpetual. My new word is perpetual. It's a key word. Perpetual means ongoing. So getting lost in the weeds of all this stuff that happened and just, you have to have a minute to unload. And unfortunately, you guys were right there and saw my unload part. You have to have a minute. That's part of the process. But the next part of the process is, okay, now what? You do have to okay, now what it. Because if you don't okay, now what, you get stuck and you start going back into the whole thing and you think, how could he do this to me? And then there's this horrible spiral all the way down into the ground. And then you feel just like total garbage. And not only do you feel like garbage, but you don't know your way out because you've fallen down too far. But if you can stop and start looking at it and say, there is perpetual gratitude will get me to the place that I want to go. It opens the door. What does it open the door to? Creativity, curiosity, to invention, to new things, to new people. It's amazing. And the other thing is, your reticular activating system is looking for the evidence to support it. Always. And I fully expected, when I went and started today, after I had my morning ritual, when I went through that whole thing, I fully expected to see an email from him saying that they were going to do this, that they were going to change it. I knew it. I knew it without a shadow of a doubt. I knew it. I had nothing to support that. It was just my inner knowing. It was my inner knowing. I love that. Perpetual gratitude. Perpetual. You say that word 100 times. Perpetual. It's such a good one too. So to be perpetually grateful is to be present, is to be mindful, and is to be filled with joy. Perfect will never do that, but excellence will. You got that? Perfect won't do that. What I would love so much. I would love this guy to come back and tell me, I'm going to do all these things and I'm going to run them all today. And you're right. And that's it. And how perfect would that be? But that's not real life. Excellence, however, says, I've got this, I've got that, I'll run that tomorrow. And then these other things. And then please understand that I've got to keep this fluid because I've got people calling out. I've got this, that, and the other thing going. I get it. We're all in this together, but don't dismiss me. I will not be dismissed. You will not be dismissed. Amen. So gratitude also is a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? It creates more. Gratitude creates more. So if you keep this perpetual gratitude going, the more thankful you are, the more things you're going to be thankful for because it's going to come into your life. Isn't it so amazing? It's like well, pardon the thing, but it's like a rose that was just closed like this, opening all the way up. Full bloom. Full bloom. Because that's the gloriousness of the rose. A rosebud is beautiful, but the rose all the way fully bloomed is even more glorious. And that's when the perfume is released. And that is how it works. The rose just keeps opening. The rose just keeps opening and opening and opening and becomes more and more glorious. And that's gratitude right there. And that's the blessings right there. Because it's this whole thing. Gratitude is a seed. And, I was thinking about this, and who plants it? Do we plant it and God waters it? Or does God plant it and we water it? It's our little garden, and we have to tend that garden. We can't just allow the weeds to come up. And when the weeds come up, they got to go out, right? They've got to go out. And once those weeds are out, you've got the beauty of the hand-selected flowers. So I think there's a joint effort here, but you can't get flowers if you don't allow the seed to be planted. And that seed comes from gratitude, and the water comes from heaven. I love that. God's provision always shows up. Always, always, always. You just have to look for it. So I went through this whole contrast of abundant or lacking. Is it sparkling or dull? Because you know how much I love contrast. I think contrast lights up these concepts so beautifully. Vibrant or on the sidelines, it is your choice. It is always 100% continually, forever and ever and ever, amen, going to be your choice. You can choose to be powerful or you can choose to be pitiful, but you can't be both. Remember that? That was our first quote from Joyce Myers. And it's so true. We can't be both at the same time. We can choose one. And what we choose to dwell on is what we choose to have expand in our minds. And that becomes what we see. I love this. I'm sorry. But that's a Wise Woman's Wednesday right there. Right? That's Wise Women stuff. So, by the way, I didn't even tell you, if you do choose one of our products, so we've got the Fiber Mender, the Unflavored, and the Chocolate, Perfect Paleo Protein, those three things, all you have to do is write ships free in the little promo window when you check out, and the shipping will be on us. You will not pay it. That's number one. And also consider becoming a Saving Dinner supporter. You know, you've seen these websites where they have this Patreon thing, or, become a supporter or buy so-and-so coffee. I considered all of that. We got hit with this whole thing. Sure we did. And especially with our supply chain kind of going a little wonky. But then I thought, lower the price of Dinner Answers, and I can not only will you be supporting Saving Dinner and helping us out tremendously right now, but you will also be served as well. I get to serve you. However it is that you eat, you will find a plan in Dinner Answers. All you have to do is go to savingdinner.com. It's right there on the front page, and become a subscriber. And I consider you a member of our family at that point, because you are helping Saving Dinner to continue. This is a woman-owned business, a small one at that. And I really appreciate all the love and the care and all of the people who've just been coming in on a daily basis. You guys light me up, and I thank you for that. So what else do we have going on? Don't forget about Full Bloom, savingdinner.com/bloom. And by the way, the page was wonky for a while. If you haven't seen the page and you went to the page and said, what's this? It's changed. It's fixed. So you can see all the things and what's all going to happen. So go there and check it out. It is happening on April 18th, and we are meeting online in community, and it's going to be epic. The only thing that's going to be missing is that we can't do it in person. Thanks, Joanna. I appreciate that. But you know what the best thing about it is? This is the very best part of this whole thing, is that we can still have connection. And in community, when we choose our community like we do, we have the ability to still connect. So we're meeting on Crowdcast, and I will be able to bring you up to me. So you're going to want to fluff up and look a little lovely. But I'll be able to bring you up onto stage with me. We're going to have some hot seats, some nutritional hot seats, so I can help you out with that. There's going to be all kinds of things happening. This is going to be the event. It's a workshop too, so you'll be doing some cool things. Plus swag bag. SaveMeDinner.com/bloom. I appreciate you all, and I thank you so much for joining me today. And I promise you on, today at 4 o'clock for cooking lessons, you're going to see Mark. Mark is doing the thing. I'm going to give you some general grilling tips, and then I'm going to pass the buck and make him do it. Susan, I know, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. for you on Saturday. I know, it's awful. But guess what? You got coffee, okay? And I'll be there to support you. I'll say good morning. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your continued support. And see you at 4 p.m. Peace.